What's up, I'm a Power Asker. Today's video we are showing you how to make a water diversion thingy. I don't know what to call it. I released a video a while back about putting USB power ports in the bottom of your dash so you plug up your cell phones, battery chargers. Like in my case, it's the battery charger for the cameras that you may be watching this video with, or I'm recording this video with. You know what I'm saying. One of my faithful subscribers by the name of Gary King asked, "Dude, how do you make that thing? I don't have one in my Jeep." Not only did I make one, but I made two. Why did I make two? Simply because I show you two different ways to make one. One, if you have a broken one, you can use as a template. Two, if you don't have one at all, what to do to make one. Cool? Cool. So everyone, if this seems like a video you would enjoy, go ahead and watch it. But if you like these type of videos, hit that thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss a single thing. Let's get on with this. First thing you need to do is get the screws out. You got one there, 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 and there. That was a rough one. As you see that water diverter piece, this one still got it, but that's okay. If yours don't, we're going to show you what to do, how to measure to make one. So if yours has it, and let's just say yours is broken or busted, what you're going to have to do is take out this screw, this screw, this screw, and this screw from the bottom of your gauge cluster. And once you get those screws out, what you should be able to do is take this piece of plastic here and gently pull down, and it's out. And what we're going to be using today is, ta-da, just a plain old flexible cutting board. Cutting board meaning as if you're in the kitchen, you're chopping up your veggies and stuff, and you get it all chopped up here, take and roll it up like this right here, and off into the bowl it goes. You can find these right here into your little kitchen areas of your department stores. They're cheap, so that's what we're going to try and use. We're going to use our old one here for a template, and just imagine it's busted or something, whatever float your boat. But you can see that this one right here happens to be a bit shorter. So what do we do? What do we do? So what you can do is, right here is your little water channel. Water comes down through the dash. If it's rain, you got the top off. It's coming up through the dash. You'll hit this right here, and it'll roll right through this little groove right here and off this way. But since this does not have that groove, and these aren't exactly growing on trees, what do? This is a little too short. Now what I preference to do, I'm going to favor this hole right here. Notice this is the way it goes in, okay? Here's your hole in this end here. I'm going to put that hole about right there, making this end flush over here. Now why am I going to do that? Because this will push, this being a little bit too short, will push this whole piece this way by centering the hole over here. And as the water runs down and across your radio here, your radio's on this side here. If you make it centered like this, it's going to make this end right here too short. The water will actually run off right to the edge of the faceplate of the radio. So if you push it over just a little bit further, by taking your hole, making it center here, making this edge even here, it takes it out past the radio, so any water that may come down should go around your radio. So take your old one, hold it, turn it around like straight here so we can mark our holes. Make this end flush, make this end straight. You can see, we take a screwdriver, do like this. That'll mark your center lines, center places for your holes. Now, as you see right there, it made these little divots in the plastic. There, 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 and there. So then what you do is, since you got this lined up like that, we need to know what the overall, how much of this material do we need? We'll need the thickness of this and the length of this. So you can measure it, do math and all that fun stuff, but we're not going to do that. Take, lay this edge here along the edge of that and simply rock it over. Right there where we're going to cut it. Score me a line. It ain't got to be exact. Okay, so I've scored me a line. I can see where I need to cut. Get my trusty little scissors and cut it right up through the line. There's that part. Now our next step, you could probably slip this up underneath there, and as you put your dash piece back in, fold that up as it goes in. It would work out just fine. But we're going to make a fold on this right here to give it that L shape. Now what I've done is got me a piece of metal here, and it does not have to be some kind of structural steel like this. It can be a framing square. It can be anything that you've got a good, solid, hard edge. So just grab you a line like this, push into that corner, like that, and look at that. I simply take it, fold it like that right there. It holds its shape. Now what you want to do, whenever you scribe your line with your knife, don't use an X-Acto knife because the blades are typically too sharp on those because they're razor blades. Just use this knife right here. I beat the crap out of it just about on a daily basis. So therefore it's not very sharp. But all you're after is describing that line right there just enough that when you do like this right here, it creates that fold. If you scribe too deep, you'll cut through and you'll have a water leak, and the water just kind of creep down through your hole and all over your radio. So you don't want to cut too deep. Cool, cool. Now at this point, if you want to, you can take your screwdriver here. Now you can actually make your holes to a workable size. Get started. Push and turn a little bit, push and turn. Don't push hard because you don't want to stab yourself for one. Ta-da! And you push the screwdriver through like that. But now you got this little extrusion right here. What do you do with that? Just simply take your knife, put your blade in position so you ain't gonna cut yourself, and shave the extrusion off. I try not to cut too much, that way I'll deform the hole. See? Where's the screw? Oh, there it is. There you go. Screw will fit through there just perfectly. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and knock the holes in the rest of this. Alright. Before somebody says that, yes, you can take your knife blade and do the same thing. Just do like that right there. See? Ha, I beat you to it. You thought you were going to call me out. Well, just use your knife blade and do it. Okay. There you go. Or if you really want to get fancy, you can get you a drill too. I'm just trying to keep this project super simple so you don't have to have any type of fancy tools to make this little contraption here. I heard that. Someone said, Chuck, what if you don't have one at all? Let me show you what to do. And here we use the rest of our little cutting board. Simply take it, tuck it up underneath your gauge cluster. Like that. And you tuck it up as far as you want to, it's whatever. It doesn't make a whole lot of difference as long as you're not like whipping or hitting the wiring. Then what you're going to do, let's see if a screwdriver will work. Yeah, you take your screwdriver, as long as the head's small enough to get inside this right here, take your screwdriver, just go in here and push, 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 and push. And you know I'd leave my knife way back there, so I gotta go get it. Be right back. Take you a straight edge, come right across the bottom of them right there. bring it down just a little bit. Scribe your line. Oh, I need to find a place where I can hold it in place. Find a position where I can hold it in place. Alright, right there, scribe your line. People are freaking out because I'm dragging my blade backwards. It's got a lock, so it ain't going to come closed. Okay, so now we know where we need to make our bend cut. But now, how far out does it come? So we got this in place, got our line scribed, holes centered. Put your tape against this, press against the back of that. Looking at about 3.5 inches. So what we'll do is, when we pull this back out, this line here, outward, will measure about 3.5 inches. Pull it out. You see right here, our holes are nice, pretty right here. This is marked. There's a scribe line. Let's go back here and finish it up. So now you got a tape measure. There's a scribe line. Put your tape right at the edge of it. Mark 3.5 inches. Come down here. They're right at that scribe line here. Now let's not be splitting hairs, people. It don't have to be perfect. 3.5 inches. That tape measure just sprung a spring, so therefore it's just kind of a pain in the tail. So we'll take our straight edge, 3.5 inch mark there, 3.5 inch mark here. They're lined up. Make sure my blade's locked. Because using the back side of your blade, it scribes a lot better on this. But make sure your knife has that lock right there so the blade will come back and fold on your hand. Even with that, keep your fingers out here. Look how nice that line is right there. Just beautiful. Take a pair of scissors, cut it out. Ta-da! Now, this piece right here. Remember, we gotta make our fold now. So take our fold, line it up on your straight edge. Again, I know I'm using a big piece of metal here, but you can use a framing square, anything that's gonna give you a good solid edge to drag your knife against for scoring the line. Right there. Take your blade, the sharp edge, don't press hard. See if they come down through there. Like that. Zoom back on you a little bit and fold. Look how beautiful that is. Yes, yes, it's just perfect. Ta-da! Now we made a water diversion thingy. How do you put it back in? Well, it's reverse of taking it back out. I'll tell you what, I'll go as far as putting that back in, show you. Guess we're taking, open our holes up a bit. Don't drill through your finger there, it might hurt. Now we take our water diversion shield thingy. I don't know what to call it, y'all tell me. Tuck it underneath there. Tuck it underneath that one. Stay tucked, please. There, there. And there. Then we take the screws that holds our dash cluster in. Put them in. And tighten up just to the point that you can take your finger like this right here and get a little grip, and that's good right there. If you grab hold of it, grip it, and put the He-Man to it, you're liable to crack the ears on your gauge cluster. Now, one thing some of you may be concerned with is the fact that this has that little lip right here and this one don't. Not a big deal, because you look right there, that's where the water runs out at. So it just helps divert that. Okay, so this doesn't have that. This right here doesn't have that, but it is, and water runs out here. Okay, now what? Whenever you install this thing and you put your trim piece back in, this, when you put that in, it holds it up like this right here. So that corner actually forms its own little trough to run the water off, okay? But I still suggest, and this radio right here came in rust bucket when I got it, and well, I don't know much about it. I'm going to replace it with a marine style anyway. I really suggest, instead of buying some fine, $500-600 Alpine stick into it or something like that, I really suggest just getting you a cheap marine style radio stick in it. And therefore, whenever things happen, and they will, you forgot to put the top up, you go out wheeling, you get to playing in the creek bed, and you're slinging water everywhere, you're having a ton of fun. So things will happen. With that water diversion thingy, that water channel, water flap, whatever the heck you want to call it, they're not foolproof. Even the factory one's not foolproof. So my suggestion is to you, don't buy some high dollar unit, stick in there for tunes. Just don't do it. Really. Put your money where it counts, to where upgraded parts or things like that. Tunes, absolutely important. I totally 100% agree. But you don't have to have a perfect sound stage riding around in a soft top Jeep. You really don't. So save your money for the the upgraded parts, the hardcore parts for your axles, diffs, whatever. Buy a cheap marine radio stick in there. So therefore, if somebody wants to sticky fingers, no major loss. Water happens to hit it, no major loss. Okay, cool. Then once you get to that place, pull this up a little bit. About to drop it. Take the piece, because it sits right on top of this shelf right here. Okay. Backside gauges here, it sits right inside this right here. Pick it up, tilt this up. Once you get in place, you just like that, put the screws back in. Now you put your screws back in. There you go, Gary. That's how you do it. Simple cutting board you pick up at your local department stores, your Walmarts, your whatever your department store you happen to have in your area. They make these different styles of these. Some of them have got textures on them, and they will work. I prefer to use this type of plastic here because it's easy to make a little score line and make it fold. Remember, when you cut that score line right there, don't cut all the way through. You want just enough that makes a crease for it to fold. Okay, super simple. So everyone, if you enjoyed that video, hit me with a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, leave me some cool comments down below, and I really appreciate you hanging out with me. Peace out. Later, y'all.